Hey there, fans of the Survivor Super Fun Time Show. In today's episode, it's really exciting. What you're about to see is a recording of an awesome Survivor 46 fantasy draft that I did today with some of the wonderful people from Survivor 42 and 43, respectively. The returning champion, the Queen, Lindsay Carmine, who's going to defend her title against two outsiders from Survivor 42. That is Mike Turner, the runner-up and the owner of two pets, one named Brando, the adorable little dog, and the other one is named Daniel Strunk. And then, also from Survivor 42, we have Jonathan Young. This guy just beasted up challenges to the point where I don't know if anyone's ever been as strong or has the endurance that this guy did. And fun fact about him, he has two parents. I think one was actually literally Thor, the god of Thor, and also a speedboat. I hope you enjoy this because I enjoy the hell out of it and have a super fun time. It's absolutely incredible. This is Lindsay Carmine of Survivor 43. Thank you so much for being a part of the draft today.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So the way this is going to go down, my friends, for everyone out there who's looking at the channel here right now, you can see the draft order here. We have Michael Turner, who's listed right above the first column in the 1 slot. That's because Michael Turner is going to be going first today. We have Jonathan listed in the second square. It's because Jonathan will be going second. And then Queen Stays Queen Lindsay will be going third today in the draft. But the advantage is she gets to go back to back, which is super awesome. And we'll go down the cast list till everyone has 6 players for the Survivor 46 draft. The scoring is a little bit different this go around than last time. It's a little more complex. First play, or the way it goes down is you get 1 point per placement advance. So that's a very fancy way of saying if you're out first, you get 1 point. If you win the game, you get 18 because that's how many that you got the 18th spot, basically. 1 point per forgotten advantage. If you get a beware advantage, legacy advantage, whatever you end up acquiring, that's an additional point for that player. 2 points for an individual immunity win, just to bump it up and get spicier after the merge. 4 points for playing an idol correctly. That means if you played it and you actually idled someone out with it, that means that is 4 points for you. It doesn't happen that often, so it's a big advantage. And 3 points for winning fire. Okay, we're not going to go into that. 3 points for winning fire. And, hiding from Jonathan. Winning fire here. And just, quitters are going to get 0 ultimately. So if you pick one of these players and they go out 5th, you're not going to get 5 points for that player. Instead, you're going to get a big fat goose egg toward your point total for that player, okay? And they will put their torch underneath the metaphorical fire, and that's where it'll stay with 0 points. All right, everyone got the rules down?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
Perfect. All right, so if that's the case, that means that Michael Turner is actually on the clock now. So if you don't know your pick, it's okay. You got a little bit of time, but this is a big deal. You started off.
Before we start, I want to make sure that everybody understands that I do no homework on the cast until I see the first episode because I'm a fan of the show. I like to get to know the players as they come onto my TV screen. So in saying this is going to go strictly by feel and looks. I mean, how I think they look. So I already got my first pick. I'm going to go with Liz because she kind of gives me that Aubrey vibe, which is going to be very cool, very nice. She's going to get to know everybody. And she's going to lay low a little bit and play a good strategic game. So that's my first pick.
Liz Wilcox. Good, interesting pick, I think. I love that you went out there right away with someone that looks maybe a little more eccentric among the cast.
I love
she's
it.
She's always got a headband on, which is a really interesting piece of factoid, I guess. I don't know. But pretty fascinating. You said you don't know much about Liz, right?
I don't know anything.
Perfect.
Well, I'm super annoyed because I have Liz on my top picks. First of all, she's a single mom. And we all know how amazing single moms are. But she's a marketing strategist. She, I believe, lived in an RV at one point. Like, she knows what she's doing. So I think that was a great first pick.
Thank you, Lindsay. I hope I spoiled some of your picks now.
Can I add? I want to add a goofy little tidbit. Randomly, I collect Survivor buffs, as one does at times. She got added into one of the buff groups I'm in, and I was like, holy shit, that's the lady who's going to be on 46. That's wild. Two things. One, she actually owns the buff of the first person ever voted out of the game, Sonia Christopher.
Really?
Yeah, like 2 months ago, Sonia was selling her buff and a ukulele.
What?
Yeah, Liz said, "How do I acquire this buff?" Basically, and I was like, "Well, Sonia just popped up in our group and she bought it." So yeah, she owns it, which is pretty wild to me. Also, if
how
you're a
much
buff
did she have to pay for it?
I know, but I don't want to say.
You've got to tell me.
I'll tell you.
All right, text it to me later.
I'll tell you off camera.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was a good bit of money. But the second factoid is, and some of you may know this, every once in a while I make Survivor t-shirts for fun. Because now that I've kind of leaned into the Survivor community type stuff, I've been like, all right, what can I make for Survivor 46? What interesting designs are out there? And I never know what the right line is with lewd or sexual stuff. And what I did was I made one because Liz, frankly, it was staring me right in the face. I made one. It says her last name is Wilcox. I made a shirt that says I'm here for the Cox.
Nice.
And
amazing.
I made it, showed it to her. She said, I need that right now. And yeah, she's the owner of the design now. I gave it to her. I said, honestly, I don't want to make money or anything. You can take it, do whatever you want with it. But we made a little trade. I just made her sign a buff for me at some point. But I have to say, I'm very proud. I'm very proud that this was the first pick in the draft, Mike. Good job.
Thank you.
All right. So that means we're moving on to second pick, which belongs to Jonathan. It looked like he was eyeing up the cast list a little bit.
I sure am. So I'm with Mike. Normally the first episode is when you kind of start dissecting who you like, who you don't. But Jim, she seems confident. I like the way she's standing up. I'm going to go with her. I like her look. So I'm going with Jim.
You like Jem. Okay. Wow. We got the battle of the 3-letter names so far. Okay. And mind you, I'm going to update this every round or two so that you all know exactly who's left and everything. Okay. So I'm not going to leave you out to dry. But right now we have Liz from Mike and Jem from Jonathan. I get some low-key vibes from Jem myself. She seems like really bright, probably going to play more of a low-key game from what I've seen. And I think it could be interesting. I don't know who a comparable would be in your mind, Lindsay, since you've done a little research into it. But I would say I could see an Erica Caspausen. I can't say her name, from 41, possibly.
Yes. Yeah. Who else did she remind me of? From last season. Oh my God. Why can't I remember what her name is from last season? She's the singer.
Oh, the singer.
Oh, J. Maya.
Brain.
J. Maya.
Yes. She reminds me of J. Maya.
I love J. Maya.
But she's awesome. She's 32, which is like that sweet spot and age to play the game. She's from Chicago. She's a brand manager. So she's used to, she's a people person. She works in a retail store managing people. As long as she just doesn't rub people the wrong way, I think she could go pretty far too. So
I certainly hope so. I'm gonna hold that part of the commentary. But good pick. I think Jem's a good start for you there, Jonathan. And now we move on to the back-to-back. This is where we have to see if experience really matters in the Super Fun.
This is where I pay attention too.
Yeah. You want to see the patterns in Lindsay's
Yeah, I'm
pick?
looking for a pattern here because I know she's done her homework.
Smart move. You're doing your homework right now. That's good.
All right. So my first pick, I'm going with Jess.
Jess. Oh,
I think yes.
Really?
Yes. I love her personality. I thought her interviews, especially the one that she did with Mike Bloom, was just absolutely amazing. She's got ADHD, which I do too, so I understand where she's coming from. Older woman, very intelligent. Her strategy going out there is that she doesn't have much strategy, and I really do think that in this new era of Survivor, you have to be flexible. You have to be ready to kind of bob and weave and be adaptable. And I think she has that. She also played rugby. So I think she's going to be a surprise in challenges. I think we're going to see a lot of great things coming out of Jess in this game. So that was my
number one tidbit about Jessica. When I read that she played rugby, I think in college, I was like, get the hell out of here. Because if you actually I know this picture I have on here is tiny, but if you pull her up and you look at her guns, Those look like she got a little bit going on.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna play a little under the radar. And I think if she can just get a good ride or die out there, or get herself in a good position and a good alliance, I think she can make it pretty far.
Absolutely, I have a lot of faith in Jess.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the first of the double feature here. You have one more to go. We know Liz was on that desirable list for sure. So I'm wondering.
Yeah, I'm definitely annoyed by that.
Yeah, 3 women in a row.
I got.
That's what I do. I annoy women.
All right. I'm going to take away my number 2 right now and pray that you guys don't pick that person. My next pick is going to be Kenzie.
Oh, I like Kenzie too.
Kenzie, she is social. She's got great instincts. She's a hairdresser. So I think socially, I think that's going to get a game. But again, I think she's got some strategic chops. And do I think she's going to be a challenge beast out there? No, but I feel like this day and age, you don't have to be. You know, you have to be likable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Kenzie's really likable. So.
I agree. I think. I mean, I love Kenzie. Before we started this whole thing, before you even got here, Lindsay, I was telling Mike and Jonathan. I said, by the way, there's this lady named Kenzie. I love Kenzie. I love Kenzie for a lot of reasons. I've gotten to chat with her a little bit, which is nice, and she's she's wonderful. But I was like, I also have like a schoolboy crush on her. She reminds me of somebody or some woman I know, and whatever. So when she got picked really high by you, I was like, yes, let's go. I
got a crush on Kenzie too. I'm not gonna lie. So
she's a great.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
I had her. I would have taken. I like her vibe a lot.
Do you think she I mean, honestly, just by kind of looking at her, do you think she kind of was cast to fall into the same archetype as like Carolyn and Kendra from the last 2 seasons?
I'm not sure. She has that look, but I'm not sure she was cast for that. I think Carolyn's in a league of her own in terms of casting.
She is, yeah.
Yeah, but I think, along those lines, I follow Kenzie on Instagram, and I guess I must have started following her like a while back. And she just kept like pulling up on my feeds, and I was like, "Oh, this girl's so entertaining." And then the cast came out, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's Kenzie!" So, I love her. She's adorable.
Yeah, she looks like she's a riot, and hopefully it ends up that way. I mean, also interesting tidbit. That's 2 picks from the same tribe for you there, Lindsay.
Yeah.
Let's see if
I'm not going to comment on that just yet, but we can circle back. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm not trying to blow up anyone's game potentially.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out
there.
Yeah,
you need to.
Yeah, sorry about that. All right. I'm just saying, I'm having like Vietnam War flashbacks of last year when I realized I took 4 Lulu at some point. I was like, oh god. Anyway, so that means now that Lindsay took her back to back, we're on to Jonathan, and now just to recap, Liz, Jem, Jess, and Kenzie are all gone. 4 ladies.
So I think I'm gonna go with a guy, and I'm gonna do Charlie. He seems kind of unassuming.
The first guy.
He gives me Carson vibes a little bit. He gives me a little bit like he could play the game, and not everybody's gonna know what he's doing, and he'll be strategic. I'll go Charlie.
Well, you blew up Lindsay's pick there. It looks like.
Cheers! Woo, I did it, Mike. Let's get her.
Yes, we're going after you, Lindsay. We're going after you hard.
I didn't think you guys would pick Charlie. Charlie was my second pick.
Here's your 2.
So yes. Oh. All right. I'll let Jonathan talk, and then I'll tell you guys why I think Charlie is going to go very far.
I want to hear what you have to say. You probably know way more than me, Lindsay. Go ahead.
All right. I mean, Kevin knows me really well. So, Kevin, can you assume why I would have gone with Charlie first?
Is it is because at one point he said he was gonna play the game in different eras like Taylor Swift?
Yeah. He is a huge Taylor Swift fan. Now, do I think that that's a reason why I should make him my winner pick? No, but he is he's getting ready to start his 3rd year of law school. he's obviously incredibly intelligent. I think, again, he's just got a great personality. Rob and Mike Bloom seem to think that he's going to get a case of like the big move-itis in the game, that he's going to get a little bit confident, he's going to get a little safe in the game, and he's going to, maybe make some mistakes. But I disagree. I really do think he's going to latch on to a couple of other players and go really far in the game. I don't think people are going to see him as a threat. I think he's going to get along with everybody. I honestly think he's one of the most likable men on the cast, if not the most likable man on the cast. So I think the women are all going to love him. They're going to see him as like, their little brother or their young son or whatnot. So good pick.
So top that, Mike.
Listen, I already got my pick, and I did like Charlie, but he wasn't on the top of my list. So for my next pick, because we actually picked 4 women, and then Jonathan obviously went off the reservation and picked the male. So, so being that he deviated from the women, I'm going to go with Randon. I just think he looks like he's going to be out there to play, and I like that a lot. I think he's probably going to be, just from looking at him, he's probably going to be aggressive, and he's going to go for it. He's out there to play. He's not out there to fool around, and I like that. I like that in a player. So,
well, yeah, I mean, Lindsay will have to confirm this for me, but
yeah, Lindsay, tell me a little about him.
I think he works on he worked on spaceships and stuff as like part of the military, right? Or no, something like that.
Yeah, he has an aerospace tech. So he's incredibly intelligent. You know what? I would have gone with him too. My only red flag is that he said his family is throwing him a first out party. And if your family's thinking you're going to get voted out first, that doesn't mean that he will. It just means that maybe he has a tendency to rub people the wrong way.
Not a good sign.
So again,
but let's face it, there's a lot of people that were on Survivor in the past that their families thought, without a doubt, they're going to be the first out. Because believe it or not, if you get cast on Survivor, myself included, we can have that kind of personality within our family that we rub them the wrong way, because most of us are type A personalities. And my family, quite frankly, said, there is no way you're going to fucking last out there. You're going to annoy the shit out of everybody. And so
they threw Mike he's going to quit party.
He said, you're not going to make it past the pregame party.
That's absolutely
I mean, he said his friends would describe him as relentless. He's persistent, which are 2 words that I use to describe myself in my bio. Big fan of like Neil deGrasse Tyson. He said he played the game like Xander, and
I'm not crazy about that.
We saw how that worked out. So
I love Xander, but it does seem like
I love Xander.
He was very passive.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Very smart guy, but very passive at the same time.
And just to be fair to everybody, the only thing that I did look at, I looked at the bios real quick. I looked at who they wanted to play with, thinking to myself, if I know who they wanted to play with, that'll tell me how they want to play the game.
Yeah.
So that's all I did look at.
Yeah, because funny, I mean, it's already picked now, but since you mentioned it, if I remember right, Liz actually wrote in her thing. This is the one that stood out to me. She said she wanted to play like Russell Hantz and Sandra.
Yes.
I was like, wait, how on earth do you want to play like both? They couldn't be more opposite in strategy. Russell's like, you're with me, you're against me. Or Sandra's like, literally anyone but me. I don't care.
Yep.
And I don't.
So maybe she'll play the middle. That's even better.
Yeah, maybe. Or, you made a trash first pick. I'm not sure. I guess we'll see.
That's true.
Well, do you guys remember? Do you guys remember filling out these questionnaires? We did it in like day 2 of the casting cycle, and you go through so many different changes throughout the casting process, and like even once you played the game. So I try not to like put too much into what they say, because I feel like the decisions that they're saying is to get noticed by casting throughout the rest of the casting process, right?
And when they ask you these questions, you're right. They're so early in the casting process, and you've done so much writing and answering questions. You kind of just like you're burnt out. You just kind of write whatever you want. I remember seeing like, damn, I wrote that. What the hell was I thinking?
It's almost like, what would they want me to put down?
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember saying like I wanted to play, my physical game, I wanted it to be like Natalie Anderson, and my social game, I wanted it to be like Michelle Fitzgerald, and my strategic game, I wanted to play like, who did I say? I can't remember at the time, but you tell them what you think they want to hear so they can best
100%.
understand how you play the game. Right. So,
Jonathan,
All
who
right,
did you
who's
say?
picked?
Ozzy, right?
Yeah, I said Ozzy.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
I
a
would
good
say
one.
that's pretty spot
Actually, you
on.
played. If I'm honest, Jonathan, you played a better game than Ozzy.
Well, thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Ozzy's one of those players that can play 1,000 times and he's never going to win.
I
Yeah.
agree.
That's
Yeah.
really a shame too, because I remember, I mean, just from a physical, I mean, obviously challenges only do so much for you. But I remember somebody ran the numbers one time up to season 42, and it was like who are the best challengers ever on Survivor based on stats, and they had a really interesting algorithm. And it was like they tried to factor in sit outs, and if you almost won, if you did win, team challenges, individual, all that kind of stuff. And Ozzy by a mile was number one. Jonathan, you were up there, but I think it was just because you had less challenges, so less data to pull from.
Yeah.
But you were up there. I think the most hilarious thing that came out of that data was that coach was exactly in the middle. So he is literally as average as possible.
That's
according to
funny,
him.
dude. Wow.
Oh,
Well, it's the greatest thing you got to read, because like second place I think was Boston Rob, third was Joe Anglim, like a lot of greats, but and somehow the worst is Mookie from Survivor Fiji. I don't know if you remember him at all.
I don't.
I don't know.
Him.
He's the worst of all time. Maybe that's probably why he's last, I guess.
His name's
Yeah.
Mookie.
Mookie.
I'm gonna look him up after this.
Yeah, you got to see the face of just awfulness at Survivor challenges, I guess.
Yeah, I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
Mike, you got one
All
more.
right.
I know.
Heck
I'm
yeah.
thinking.
Yeah, I
So-
updated the list so you all can check it out. But if you take note, you all have chosen people from the
Oh,
same
wow.
tribe so far.
Well, so I'm gonna go differently now.
okay.
I'm gonna go with Jelinski.
Jelinski.
Is that his name right there?
That's his name. Well,
Jelinski.
it's his last name. It's his last name.
Okay.
He supposedly he is lobbying very hard to be called by his last name, like many before him, Cochran, Colby
Gotcha.
Donaldson, all those folks.
Gotcha.
DJ.
Well, now if I knew that, I
Yes.
wouldn't have picked him.
DJ would have been good. Oh, if his
No,
name wasn't Zelensky?
Yeah, I thought
He
that
said
was-
he either goes by Dave, DJ, or Jelinski.
He's
It's a good pick, though.
He's
Yeah,
a
I'm gonna
slot
take
machine guy or something in Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's
So-
that's good.
He was the one. His parents are addicts. He realized, like at 4 years old, he was going to have
Addicts
to
for
take care of
Survivor, just to be
himself.
clear.
Yeah.
Oh no, is it Survivor or other?
Yeah. His parents have substance
Okay.
abuse issues, and
Just had to clarify. Keeping it fun.
he's had to grow up. Even though he's like super young, he's kind of has an old soul. He actually reminds me of Caleb from last season, just a giant golden retriever. I think he's going to be a huge social threat in the game. He's just incredibly likable, has a great personality. So good
All right,
pick,
good.
Mike. Taking
There
all my
you go.
people.
For what it's worth, I can speak to
So
a little bit of how like he does seem like his little golden retriever. I made like a Survivor 46, like just way too really impressions of the whole cast. And at one point he said he wanted to play like Tyson, and I said it's probably because he's shaped like a big whooping crane, just like Tyson. And
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
he replied to the video and said, "Hey man, that was hilarious. Keep it up." I was like, dude, he took that way better than I expected. So yeah. So he seems like a cool dude.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Dang.
All right. So Jelinski
Good
off the
pick.
board. All right.
Yes,
So you're
done.
breaking the mold. That's it's a couple guys in a row, 3 guys in a row. So we're on a run again. But that run could end or continue with Jonathan, who is next up. Right now, he's sporting a team of Jem and Charlie. Good old Chucky boy. But who's going to join them?
So I'm going to keep it, guys. I'm going to go with Hunter. He seems to be
Ooh.
a bigger guy, but he doesn't seem to be that much of a threat. He seems like he wouldn't be too big of a physical threat. I feel like he could play low key a little bit. I'm trying to get more low key players this round. see what I can do with that. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Hunter.
I think it's a solid pick. Actually, when you were describing Charlie, Jonathan, I actually was thinking of Hunter the whole time. Basically, what you pegged Charlie to be is what I think Hunter will be.
Ooh, well, good.
So that's my opinion, but I could be dead wrong, obviously. So I'm really excited to see how it shakes out.
Absolutely. What do you know about him, Lindsay?
Yeah. Well, he turned down a scholarship and admissions into med school to become a teacher. So he's incredibly intelligent. He is a mixture, in my opinion, of Brian. I can't remember what season he won. And
Brian
then Tommy.
Yes, that's what he reminds me of also.
Yeah. I think he's going to fly under the radar. I don't think people are going to notice him at first. So again, I think that's a really good pick as well.
Oh,
and he's
Mike,
on a very interesting tribe.
Yeah.
Mike, you're going down.
I'm going down.
Let's
Well,
make a
actually, I
wager,
like
Mike.
Hunter
Let's
too.
make a wager right now. The winner between you and me, because Lindsay might beat both of us, we're going to have to either you fly down to my place or I come up to your place as soon as the end of the season.
I'm in, because that means
right,
you'll
if
be
you
flying to
lose-
Jersey,
if you lose,
boy. You're going to be
You're
in
coming
Jersey.
down here. You got it?
You heard it.
All right.
Everyone, witness,
record.
everybody,
Witness, it's recording.
witness. All right,
Come on.
YouTube, everyone's in on this too. So, I mean, I think pack your bags, Mike, is what just happened.
That's what
No.
I'm
Listen,
saying.
I'm going down there in March. When am I coming down, Jonathan? March.
He's coming down March 20th. And
March
then
20th.
Aww.
I go down there only like once every 6 months because it takes me about 6 months to recoup from being down there with him. Makes me do the stupidest stuff that's going to kill me.
You know what he thinks is stupid? Mike doesn't like the water. Go figure.
I
after
don't like the
watching All
water at all.
Survivor.
Oh, yeah.
He won't get in the water with me. And if he does, it's
What?
not for long. Yeah.
What do you do in the water down
Lindsay, no, he tries to drown me. There's a
No,
problem. Of course I don't get in the water with him. He literally says, Mike, what's wrong with you? You need to go 60 feet down to look under these rocks to shoot these fish. And I'm going, Jonathan, the deepest water I was in as a kid is in my bathtub. That's it. That's it. I'm from the city. If God meant for me to swim in the water, he would have put gills on my side. I'm not in. And he talks me into doing it. And honestly, my wife Stacy goes, just try it. Just try it. You know why? She remembers the insurance policy. And I think there it goes. I think there it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So you're not a Jersey Shore guy, I take it.
No, listen, I like the Jersey Shore, but I like the clubs better than the beach. I don't like sand. I don't like the ocean. No,
They're
It's
boardwalk
crazy.
guy.
We're even friends, dude.
Me and Jonathan had a discussion. Hey, Jonathan, the discussion we had the other day about, he's like, Mike, honestly, it's really kind of weird how you're not really a great swimmer. I go, Jonathan, I got news for you. 80% of the population in the world are not good swimmers. The people near the beach swim good because that's where they were born. Everybody else could care less.
Well, yeah, I mean, Jonathan, you were like, I think I found this out from Owen. You were like a college swimmer at Alabama, weren't you?
I was a swimmer at the University of Alabama.
Yeah, that's insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not lying. I thought that people could generally just swim. And I'm just figuring out because I'll take my friends spearfishing with me or surfing. It's like they're almost drowning. And I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? It's not
and
even
this is why I
deep.
beat him in Survivor, because he thought people just got into the water and swam, even though God gave us 2 legs.
Mike called the police because he thought I drowned spearfishing the
There's a
other
true
day.
story. There's a true story.
What?
911. I thought
'Cause
he
it
was
was
dead. I said,
foggy.
this son of a bitch. I said, you're not dying on my watch. You're not dying. 45 minutes in the storm, he went out there, and I'm saying, like, I gotta call 911. And I did. And they came out. So they're sitting there waiting. They go, listen, my friend went out there. It's foggy. It's like 10 o'clock at night. It's pitch dark in the Gulf of Mexico. And he can't understand why I was nervous.
So what was
And
he
I
doing?
came up with
Like-
I came up with a big old fish, and I thought everything was fine. You got somebody to call him, and I was like, why are you freaking out? And like,
I go, what's
this
wrong
girl
with you?
was
I said, I'm not
crying.
your friend anymore. I literally went, I'm not your friend anymore. I go, I'm not your friend anymore. This is not worth it.
That's the first time you ever chewed me out, dude.
I was pissed. I was mad. I go, you got to understand, we don't understand this, what you're doing. We don't do this in Jersey. Again, If it rains a lot and the corners get flooded, that's our pool. We don't go in the ocean. There's nothing like that. We don't do that in the city. He's out there for 45 minutes. It's raining. It's foggy. It's 10 o'clock at night, and we don't hear from him for 45 minutes in the Gulf of Mexico. And it's rough. And he goes, why are you nervous? I go, why am I nervous? I didn't think you were coming back. How am I going to explain to people what happened to you?
It's so funny because
like, not on my watch.
I thought I heard somebody calling for me, but I couldn't see the beach. So I was like,
oh, you didn't think to say, I'm here? I'm here?
No, I didn't think anybody. That? I was like, they know that I can swim and that I'm fine. They wouldn't do that. But I was wrong.
Everybody gets cramps, Jonathan.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I'd call again. I would call sooner now because I want to embarrass you. Here's the thing. 911 comes. All the medical people come and the rescue. They get to the beach. He walks out and I go, hey, Jonathan, what's going on? I go, you know this idiot? I go, you know him? You know what he's doing?
That's true.
It's true.
Oh, my God. To defend Jonathan, I was born and raised in Florida, and so I was kind of under the assumption that just everyone knew how to swim.
Yeah.
And like listening to my castmates talk about how little they knew how to swim, and then talking to people like, I can't believe you went out on Survivor. Like, I would need to learn how to swim. And I'm like, how do you guys not know how to swim? Like, and this cast 46, there's not a
feet. We have feet. We walk. It's kind of a weird concept.
Mike, the whole planet is 70% water.
It's 80% water. Get your facts straight, but that doesn't mean 80% of people can swim.
I thought our lungs were originally gills. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that was 4 billion years ago. Right now, we're made not to swim in the water for long.
I hate to say it. I'm with Mike on this one. I was born in Philadelphia. I've never really learned how to swim.
Yeah, it wasn't a priority. You know what was a priority in Philly and in Jersey? Living, staying alive. That's what we practiced.
Yeah.
I'll have fun with that. I'm gonna go be in the ocean now. That's so much better than the land.
Honestly, you're right. I hate myself. It's one of those things that I feel like is basic. If it really got down to a Survivor that I'm no good at, sword fighting, swimming, all things I lack the ability to do. I feel like, and I probably should pick up on this. And maybe I can learn swimming from Jonathan one day or something. I don't know. I can't even float.
No, he's not a good teacher either. He's not a good. He's one of those guys that's not a good teacher. He sucks at teaching. He's going to teach me too. Because I'm going to work.
Yeah. If his philosophy is, I think everyone can do it, then yeah, I guess he is a terrible teacher.
Yeah. It's like asking Babe Ruth to teach you to hit. He doesn't know how he hits. He just hits. It's natural to him. That's Jonathan in the water. Seriously, I'm not fooling with Jonathan. Should have been born in the water.
Like a merman.
That's right. He should have been a merman.
Merman.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually mad at you again now. I'm mad at you again now.
Oh, that was an amazing story. I did not think I would leave here tonight knowing that you called the police because you're worried about Jonathan.
This made my night. It made my night.
I'm gonna tell you that there was about 8 emergency vehicles. I didn't just call them like this. Hey, listen, as a firefighter, I should have called. Hey guys, just want to know we have a little bit of I went, you gotta get down here. My man was out there 45 minutes. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone.
Oh.
I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I was shook. Because there was not a problem, and I'm like, oh, I got a cool fish. La 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 la. People are crying. That girl's crying. Yeah, the cops are coming.
I came close to crying. I said, you know what my wife says? And here's what.
Oh yeah, you go. Stacy's crying, Jonathan. Are you happy?
Yeah, are you happy now? My wife is crying. You made her cry. And then it comes to a point where I honestly just said he's gone. And so my wife says, what are you gonna do? You remember that? And you got insulted. I go, babe, we just have to accept the fact that he's gone. You know, it is what it is.
He told somebody, he goes, it was a girl I was dating. He goes, listen, you're just gonna have to accept that he's probably gone. And so she's crying on the beach, like
that's how long he was out there. Listen, Lindsay, you have no idea how long he was out there. 45 minutes seems like a long time, but when you're standing at not even a pier, there was no pier. We were like these rocks, and it was waves hitting them. It was so foggy, you barely could see your hand in front of your face, and it's raining, and it's 10 o'clock at night, and he's gone for 45 minutes in the Gulf.
Well, I don't understand why he was swimming in the dark anyway, but
that's exactly what I said.
I
mean, why are you out there anyway? Why are you doing this to me?
I didn't think it was a big deal.
You are fascinating. You are fascinating human, though, man. I gotta say, like,
Listen,
I can't
I'm gonna
imagine.
be honest with you. That's like a subtle story that's gone on with me and him out there with the things he's done to say, hey, Mike, do you think this is a good idea? I go, no. We were literally on a pier and it was 20 feet straight down of concrete. He goes, do you think I could jump into the ocean and then climb back up this wall? I go, no, you can't. Because I'm going to try. I go, no, you're not. Not with me here, you're not. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the truth is, remember that? And I said, if you do it, you're going to drown. And then he did it, and I had to lean over the whole friggin' pier to grab his hand to help him grip the side. I'm saying, this is not fun for me. This is not fun for me.
And it was raining.
Remember that? It was pouring. Meanwhile, I think he's
Jonathan just laughs. He's like, we could have died.
Yeah. He doesn't understand. I have kids. I can't die yet. And Stacey gets the insurance. It's not fucking fun.
Man, you were meant for the wild experience of Survivor. I gotta say that, Jonathan. That's wild.
I love it.
Oh
yeah,
Lord.
It's great. It's a lot of fun.
Holy hell, my face. It's like
I know, my cheeks. I keep like massaging my cheeks. They hurt from laughing.
It's a workout.
Oh man.
Holy hell. But that is fascinating that you swim at night though. That's like Jaws type stuff. I mean, you really are an interesting pairing because like Mike came from a emergency response background essentially, and Jonathan is the one that seems to be creating them. So it's really fascinating.
Yes, I retired from my career. He doesn't get it. I'm done. I want to relax. I go there. I don't relax. Remember the basketball
can't relax
game?
around him.
Remember the basketball game when you guys just almost crippled me? He forgets I'm 57. He forgets. Well, I'm 60 now, but at the time, he forgets. Playing basketball.
Hey, and also, if I beat you in this, we're going out to the oil rigs, Mike. Shoot some big.
No, we're not. We're not going out anywhere.
So at the oil rigs is where the barracuda.
Kevin's like, wait, how did oil rigs get into this?
Kevin, you see what I do? This is all the time.
Are you implying Are you implying y'all are gonna have to swim out to an oil rig in the ocean?
100%.
That's what he thinks. He's out of his mind. Literally, seriously, I'm not even kidding you. The last time I was down there, he goes, come on, we're gonna go surf. I go, we're not surfing. Are you out of your mind? The waves are like 10 feet high. He's out there. I go, how about this? I'll videotape because you're really not going to do it.
And then he doesn't do it.
He pulls you off. Mike, you really disappoint me. I go, okay. I care if I disappoint you. I'm not going.
I mean, you should have videotaped though. John's got you on that one for sure.
I know.
My God.
There's stuff I do to him. Like I annoy the shit out of him all the time on purpose for the little things.
You all got a Fairly Odd Couple thing going on right now.
I love it.
I dig it an incredible amount. This is more than I bargained for, which is great. A lot of value going on right now. I love that there's like for you two, you're like, listen, I'm going purely off vibes for the draft. So the actual intent of being here, you're like, I'm not going to look into it too much. But these stories are just blowing my mind right now. All right. I got to redirect us back to it because actually, Lindsay, the good thing about these stories is Lindsay's actually been able to get extra time to look at who she wants to pick.
Is it my turn?
It is. So this past round, Jelinski and Hunter were taken.
Okay. All right. So I get 2 picks this round, right?
You sure do.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go with Q. Yes.
Sticking with the theme.
I am. Oh, wow. I am, aren't I?
3 from the same tribe so far.
I know. I think the Yanu tribe is really strong.
She's already given it away. She thinks they're a very strong tribe.
I happen to agree with her.
Yeah. All right, Q. He's younger, but I think he's an old soul. I think he's incredibly driven. He's one of 17 kids. And at first, I didn't think too much of it, but he made a really great point, which was putting him out there. He knows how to share. He knows how to communicate with large groups of people. He knows how to manage the social dynamics of the brothers and sisters and the siblings. And he talked a lot about that. And I think being one of 17 kids is really going to work in his favor out on the island.
Well, that's certainly one way to learn compromise and struggle. That's for sure.
I think he's going to know. Yeah, I think he's going to know when the right time to speak up and when the right time to just sit back and let other people make the decisions. I think that's really going to work well in his favor.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I think that's a solid pick. Obviously, I'm a big fan of that tribe. So that's a big add-on for sure to the Lindsay Carmine tribe.
Thanks. And is he the real estate agent? Yeah.
Yes. So he, oddly enough, he was the one that I was thinking could be more Caleb. But I don't know. Honestly, who knows, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So we got one more from Lindsay. And obviously you can take a second there. And I don't
need a second.
Oh, you don't need? Okay.
Look at you.
I do not.
She's cocky.
I do not.
Let me put the tiara on your head real quick. I forgot.
Hey, easy.
All right. So this is coming out of left field, but hear me out.
Okay.
I'm going with Venus.
Ooh, really?
From where is she? Nami? The Nami tribe. Yeah. I see a lot of similarities in her and Justine from my season. And I think that's because people are automatically going to assume that she's just a pretty face. But she loves playing poker, which I think that's going to make her a great game player. But she said she has a tough exterior, but she's really soft on the inside. And I think the problem with Justine on our season was she just people just weren't taking her seriously and they voted her out and didn't think twice about it. But I think she had a lot to offer. And I think she's somebody that was just gone too soon. And I'm hoping Venus can kind of right the wrong of what happened with Justine. So I'm going with Venus as my fourth pick. Yes.
I think she's a highly interesting pick for sure. I think right away people looked at her and said, just a pretty face. But I love your comparison to Justine, because Justine was honestly she was kind of a badass. She was sharp. She knew what was going on. Yeah,
yes, I'm really good friends with Justine, and she's incredibly smart and witty. And I mean, just like I said, gone too soon. We didn't see enough of her, and I wish everybody could get to know Justine the way that I have.
One of the biggest fans of Justine Brennan in the world, maybe the number one fan, is High from 42.
Rightfully so.
Interesting tidbit.
Rightfully so. Yeah.
Yeah, the president of the fan club. So extrapolate from there, whatever that means to you all, since you play with High.
Hi ho.
Hi ho. All right. So back to back, I think wonderful picks. I'll tell you with Q, a stupid little thing. My only impression I got from him was when they did the cast photo, or they did the tribes together. They did individual tribe photos. Each one of them I looked at, nobody was touching anyone. No, embracing or anything like that. Q was the only one touching another person in the photos, and he had his hand on Kenzie's shoulder. And I was like, oh,
I'm looking now.
Yeah.
No, but they let you do that.
Oh, and I'm sure, but he was the only one that did it out of everybody. And I was like, oh, this guy, he's doing it. What does that mean? I don't know.
I know. I'm looking at the cast photo now.
It's and it's also the individual ones, just a heads up. So it'll be just for the Yanu tribe for the purple.
Gotcha. Oh, I know what you're talking about. All right, yeah. All
Mike,
right, so those are my picks.
I think he's already packing his bags to go down there.
Listen. You don't know what I had to go do. Listen, I told you I'm 60 years old now. The prospect's not as good as it used to be.
Oh.
And I'm drinking a lot of water.
Oh. I was like, wait, are you peeing while talking to us right now? What is happening?
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
But Jonathan's used to that. Jonathan's used to that.
That's what my dad does. He's on the phone with me, and he's like, yeah, sorry for 1 second. And I just hear water. I'm like,
Mike doesn't even say sorry. Mike, he just teased, and it's obvious he's
no apologies, Mike. No apologies.
Thank you so much.
Own it.
Thank you. Well, listen, on the island, John just get nervous when my hands were wet. And I'd say, hey, things happen.
I would think you'd figure it out by 60 years, but I guess not.
Nah. Listen, poor John. Jonathan, you and Kevin, wait till you get my age. You got about 30 years to get there. Then you'll understand.
I understand, Mike.
Thank you, Linda.
I understand.
Based on the stories you all were telling, I don't think Jonathan's going to make that age.
I don't think so either. He's scared. Honestly, he scares the crap out of me sometimes. I go, he goes, Mike, this is how he starts. He goes, Mike, let me run this by you. I go, stop. Stop. As soon as you get to run this by you, it's not a good idea.
He keeps you young, though. Right?
He keeps me scared. He keeps me scared.
Yeah.
All the time.
I love it.
We do have fun, though. We do have fun.
All right. The terror of Mike's life, apparently. Looks like you're up next, my man. Jonathan, who are you feeling to add to Jem, Charlie, and Hunter of the remaining people?
I'm thinking Tiffany.
Damn it, Jonathan. That's what I was going to take next.
I think that she could definitely go far in the game.
I like her because she just looks like she has attitude, too. I like it.
Yeah, she's got attitude, confidence. I'm going to go with Tiffany.
All right, Lindsay, tell us why Jonathan picked Lindsay.
Miss Lindsay, can you tell me why?
Because he has no idea.
Well, she's got a great personality. She's an artist, and she kind of goes, makes decisions based off of how she's feeling, but she relies a lot on luck. And that was kind of a theme for, my strategy as well, is like everyone talks about, is somebody a competitor? Is somebody more strategic? Are they going to have a strong social game? But there's a fourth element out there, and it's luck, and I don't think we talk about it enough. But Tiffany acknowledges it, and she says, I'm gonna bring some good luck to the game. So Tiffany was gonna be my fourth out of the Yanu tribe. I think she's an amazing pick, and I'm really kind of annoyed that you grabbed her before I could. So
that's twice,
good choice.
Lindsay. That's twice I've gotten your people.
Now, I will say, because I did put notes, and I do think this is a factor, new fans versus old fans, and she's a newer fan to the game. So that's either going to help her or hurt her. We're going to find out soon. So.
I'm going to add two things. One, I love when survivors mention luck, because I don't think it gets mentioned too much. Mm-hmm. I mean, in 45, in the final tribal, I was very glad that Dee, a lot of people think is the best winner of the new era. One of the biggest things she said was just like flat out, I got really lucky being on Reaper, straight up. Because, the people I was with, it just worked out really, really well. We didn't have to do some of the stuff that the other tribes had to. Also, one of my favorite quotes of all time in Survivor comes from one of my favorite survivors ever, Tom Westman. He said the game is 50% mental, 50% physical, and 50% luck. And I think it seems very true because your circumstances in the beginning, like Lindsay, how you had talked about just the timing of like Cass and everything, that would have changed everything in that instance, but just, shook out a weird way.
Listen, everything changes everything. I mean, literally, any little deviation from what happened changes the trajectory of the game immensely every single time. That's why you never know.
Absolutely. And for what it's worth, if I had to pick personally, Tiffany would have been my first pick. So
that's worth something to me.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I think she's I just feel like she's got it. But it may not work out. There are two people I'm stunned that have not gotten picked yet to this point. So
I think I'm picking that one next. I think I'm going to take that pick next because I see him.
Okay. All right. Well, then, let's see if it works out. So the next one, Venus and Tiffany just got taken this round. So Mike, you have back-to-back. Maybe you'll take both of them. Who knows?
Maybe. So
let's see what you're made of.
My next pick, and I can't believe he hasn't been taken yet. I'm going to take Tim. Tim looks like he's going to be a player out there. He's got a good smile, and I'm going to wait for Lindsay to tell me why it was a good idea I picked him.
I mean, Tim was actually the last person that I was going to pick.
I'm not a big fan of Tim either.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried that he's going to pull the dad card out there. Look, if he can avoid pulling a Bruce, and Bruce was my winner pick last year, so you guys know I love me some Bruce, but we do find that not everybody has Mike's personality. And sometimes they can go into the game being a little bossy, saying they don't want to be in charge, saying they don't want to call the shots. And you get out there and you've got some younger players out on that island and everyone's just kind of scatterbrained and someone needs to organize the crew. And as long as he can avoid doing that, he might be good. I don't know.
That's a good point. So let me ask you a question then, because I obviously made it a very, very conscious effort, and when I went out there, not to be that guy. I made sure to always say it's going to be a we game, not a me game, and I literally, no matter what anybody else did out there, I didn't let it affect how I looked at it, or even thought how it should have been done. I just knew I was going to do what I thought I had to do. Do you think, like Bruce, and obviously we've seen it many times, and Roxroy on our season, do you think that they went into the game knowing that they had that personality, or did they go into the game knowing that they did have that personality and said they weren't going to do it, but they just are who they are and they couldn't stop it?
I mean, when I hang out with Bruce, I don't get that impression from him. And it's incredibly frustrating when I watch his episodes and I see how he behaved on the island. I can't figure out if it's that he just doesn't have self-awareness.
I think it's that. I think Lindsay's right.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
And because CBS wasn't creating these situations out of thin air. These situations were happening. And Katurah was like visibly annoyed by it. And then you'd see why she'd get annoyed. And he would go in confessionals and say, I'm not going to be this person. And then he gets out there and he does that. In saying that, I saw what happened with Reem and why she got voted out, which was because she was trying to be kind and she saw wet clothes sitting in sand and she wanted to pick them up and put them out to dry. And I knew not to do that. But by day 8, all of my tribe mates' clothes were getting wet. And what did I do? I went and hung up their clothes, knowing that could have got me voted out. I think where the self-awareness comes in, though, is that I waited until my tribe understood the type of person that I was. And I waited until they put me in the Mama Lynn's role before I started doing those things. And I feel like Bruce and even Roxroy didn't wait until somebody came to them and showed them that they needed that like male father figure out on the island before they started making those choices. And
I think it's almost too late when someone comes, because Drea, remember Mike, went to Roxroy and was like, hey, you've got to tone this down. And
Tone it down.
At that point, it's like, oh gosh, now everybody is noticing to a point where someone had to tell me about it. So that's
well. And speaking of Roxroy, I mean, they didn't air this, but when I first met Roxroy looked at me like he looked at himself, an older guy on the show with kids. We were with a bunch of young, and he was like, we would have to get wood. He goes, me and you have to be the providers. We're gonna have to show these young kids. I go, in my head, I didn't say this. Of course, I said to him, yeah, you're right, Roxroy. It's what we got to do. In my head, I says, I don't even want to be near you. You scared the shit out of me because I don't want them to think I'm going to be like you, which is, everybody thought that he just, was the daddy, and nobody wants to be, anybody's kid out there. They want to play
Mike, that almost happened. That almost happened with you, me, and Roxroy, because Roxroy came to us.
We were at the well.
At the well, yeah. And was like, hey, we need to do this. And like you're saying, kind of, and that just was not going to ever work out. So.
Right, and the truth is, when somebody comes up to you in Survivor, and no matter who it is, and they say, hey, this is what I think we should do, and you're really not in an alliance with them, you don't disagree, because that's the worst thing you do, because now you're alienating you from them and them from you, and you know what kind of trouble that's going to cause you. So you'll tend to say, okay, and just not do it, or warn your alliance that that's going to happen. And that's what happened to me and John. We're on the well, and Roxroy came around and he was like, hey, guys, so this is what we got to do. We're going to do a man's thing, and we're going to get a couple of the man guys together, and we're going to have a man alliance. And I'm looking at Jonathan. He's looking at me. As soon as Roxroy walked away, he says, it's out of his mind. We ain't doing that.
But by that point, Mike, by that point, though, it had already gotten to High, remember?
Yes. And that's what,
and then
well, if you remember, High walked over right in the middle of it.
Yeah. And then it was like, oh, gosh. So that almost blew our game up.
It did.
Yeah.
Real quick question. Do you think Roxroy played the game like 40 seasons too late?
Yeah.
Yes, but I don't think it would have worked well in any season, because I don't think anybody, no matter who they are, doesn't want somebody going around and acting like their father. And you, especially on Survivor, you want to play your game. If you're going to lose because of yourself, not because somebody else is trying to be your dad out there.
I also think players like Roxroy and Bruce underestimate how quickly people are looking for a reason to
Very
justify voting you out or justifying putting a target on your back, right? And they just fed them a reason, you know? So
the one difference from me being a fan and watching, through the early, all the seasons that I watched before I was on was it always blew my mind how, like, in 24 hours, the target was on somebody and then it was off them and on somebody else. It blew my, I said, it can't be that quick. And then when I was out there, I saw how it happens. Because like you just said, Linz, everybody's looking for a reason to exploit somebody else for they shouldn't be here or there's a problem. And once somebody latches on, it's like a plague. Everybody grabs it because it's not them. And so that's how quickly, and that's why you don't give the wrong wink. You don't say the wrong thing. You don't try and sleep the wrong way. You don't talk loud. You just try and just blend until you have to play your game.
Yeah, after our season was over, I was furious with James. And I said to him, like, why didn't you fight harder to keep me? You knew keeping me in the game was what was best for your game and for your alliance. And he said, Lindsay, we hadn't gone to tribal yet. He was like, I was so scared that if I pushed back with Carla, that she would then quickly turn the tables on me. And he's like, I saw how quickly she went from going for Geo and turning on you. He was like, I was worried the same thing was going to happen with me. He's like, so as long as it wasn't me, he's like, I wasn't going to, put up a fight.
And that's fair.
And you realize how quickly your game can just go down the drain in somebody's split decision. I mean, I think Carla and James had made that decision in like 2 minutes,
That's right. And that's when we did finally vote Roxroy out. I was against voting Roxroy out. I thought we were going to vote Romeo out, but I realized talking to High and him saying stuff like that. Well, we discussed it this morning, and I wasn't part of we. I said, holy shit, I can't push back here because if I push back, they're going to turn and say, okay, Mike doesn't want to agree. Let's take Mike out at this tribal.
And Mike, that's exactly why. So you took the good things about being a dad, like, oh, I'll make the bed and make you a bed, or I'll help, but you weren't overbearing at all. And that's what you did. You took the good things about being a father figure, but you left every part of telling people what to do and how to do it. And that's a great game. That was great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think you're just biased because you used to cuddle together personally, but
That's right. That's what I did.
This is wonderful. All right.
I mean, but that's what you have to do to make it in the game when you're an older player in this new era.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, obviously, a friend of the show, Gabler, it sounded like Gabler, for the most part, was able to pull that off. I assume that's why, he ended up getting to the end of the game, which I think makes a lot of sense. Rocks, though, man, looking at Rocks from afar, I'm like, man, I don't know if anyone enjoyed that. And I love Roxroy as a person. It's just the social strata that you have out there. And I think it's funny to this day that, like, Rox, I think he'd probably be a great old school player, like I was saying. And he's the one who ended up with the hourglass, right? To really kind of change everything.
Hated that thing.
By the way, Rox is my kid's favorite player from our season.
Really? I mean, he's a great guy.
Wow.
They loved Roxroy. I got back. They were like, man. I mean, still to this day, my son told me last week. He goes, Dad, you talk to Roxroy. We really love Roxroy. Him and his girlfriend, they loved Roxroy.
Really?
Yeah, exact. Jonathan Zach will tell you.
Yeah, I got the coolest name.
I don't think that there was any getting. I knew that if I tried to talk to Roxroy, that you couldn't change his mind. There was no working. Like, he would say, and again, like, I like Roxroy. This is just from a game perspective. Like, you would talk to him and he'd go, nope, my mind is made up. Did he not, Mike?
Yeah. He would do that. Like, you'd say, like, and that's why I knew it was a problem, because you would say, okay, we're going to go, when we were going to go for, to get Chanel out, and they tried to change it. And Roxroy already said, okay, Chanel's it. And then they tried to switch it, said, like, oh, maybe we shouldn't go for Chanel. I said, listen, man, I'm going to tell you right now, we do that. Roxroy doesn't change his mind. It's going to cause a rift in our little alliance here. That's very delicate now, right after the merge. And he's going to think we can't trust him, that he can't trust us. So that was my pushing, because Rox, as Jonathan said, when Roxroy said, I'm voting this person, there is nothing that was going to change his mind at all.
And in a way,
yeah, but I don't understand. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and obviously, Lindsay, I'm just going to make a quick comment. In a way, I have to imagine that's comforting to a degree because you know where he stands, which is helpful. But it's not very helpful if that's not where you're standing anymore. So I can see the conflict.
Well, it was good for me because we used that to know where we stood. To us, we used him being that way, good and bad for Roxroy, to me and Jonathan's advantage.
No, go ahead, Lindsay. You were going to say something.
I guess I just, I understand from Jonathan and Mike's point of view how it would benefit them in the game. My question is like, you put so much time and effort to get out there, and any small thing can get you voted out. What is his, like, why does he think that would work? That him just standing his ground and saying, I'm not being flexible at all is the right way to go?
Like, that's exactly what Kevin said. It's because he thought that if he said exactly what he meant all the time, that was what people would admire. It was like this weird idea that if he stood his ground, because no one does it, then it's going to help him further in the game. But to Mike's point, like, yes, it helped us, but I really think it could have hurt us because they would lump us in because we were guys too, Mike. And people just by looking at us said that we were macho and all that stuff. You know that. They were like,
but I think me and you did a good job of distancing ourselves from him at that point and more aligned with High and Omer and the guys that didn't like that stand that he was putting. I think we did a good job of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you guys had aligned with him, let's say you guys went 3 deep, who's going to be the last person voted out? It's going to be Roxroy because you know he's never going to make it to the end and win. But you two can. Yep. So you two are going to be the ones that go before Roxroy does because eventually you're going to get rid of Roxroy or you're going to want to take him to the end because nobody's going to vote for him.
Right.
So, and the truth is we wanted to keep Roxroy around and me and John keep Roxroy around because his loudness made me and Jonathan look very, very under the radar. Like he was so loud out there in terms of what he thought, like the fire and do this, that people were focused on being annoyed at him just being the father figure sometimes. I'm saying we got to keep him around and making us not even be seen right now, which was important to us at the time.
Well, that's and I'm gonna try not to belabor it too much just for the sake of time, but I don't know what kind of time you all have. I will say one point that's related to it since Lindsay had brought up Bruce a lot. Bruce, I love Bruce. He was my winner pick last season too. And a lot of people were annoyed with him. And my biggest thing was the one vote I cannot understand among all votes was I didn't get why Kelly wanted to get rid of Bruce last season because I thought Bruce was an anchor in a way, but he was also so annoying apparently to a lot of people. Plus he had an idol. Plus he was incredibly loyal. I was like, I feel like that's who you drag to the end if you can. Someone who's not going to turn on you has an idol and other people want to target them first. I still will not understand it. And he's kind of a parallel to Roxroy in some ways. So maybe you all can make sense of it.
Right. And just to be fair, I've met Bruce a few times and I honestly like him a lot. A real lot.
I love Bruce.
I do too.
Yeah, I wasn't sure I was gonna. And Roxroy also. Roxroy, I mean, obviously everybody knows Roxroy is very under the radar with his social stuff. But if there's a holiday, if there's a birthday, he calls you up. He wishes you a happy birthday. He's a great guy. He's really, really a good guy.
Yeah, I think Kelly just didn't want to be associated with him, and I think he was really hard to work with. And it reminds me of who was it that I couldn't figure out why they couldn't work together? Was it Katura? It was last season. It was a vote where. Was it that one where everybody, all they had to do was work together and they would have made it farther in the game and they just couldn't? Oh, my memory is so bad.
I know it. I mean, Final Five, if Katura just believed Jake, D would have been voted out of the game.
It was Emily, Drew, Katura. Maybe it was vote or whatever.
Yeah, and Bruce was a part of that too. And then Emily said they're just never going to work together, so I'm not going to even bother.
Yeah. But I just, like I said, I think Kelly was also worried that Bruce would have blown up her game. I mean, he did a lot of talking out there.
I think the further you go, I think Lindsay's right. The further you go in the game with someone that is like that, more of that comes out. And it'll just get harder to work with that the longer the game goes on. So,
Yeah.
I think that's fair. If you're concerned that, by the way, I muted Mike's mic because I don't know what's about to come. I think the farther
I did hear him peeing earlier.
There's no way that he's peeing again.
The pee. Put me back on. Are you out of your mind?
I don't know. He spent a lot of time talking about the prostate post 60, so I'm just not sure.
Hey, listen, it's a real thing, man. And listen, you guys are gonna get there, and hopefully I'm alive. Probably not. I'm gonna laugh at you.
Hey, I believe you. I believe you. I just don't want it on the microphone. Anyway,
I'm a nurse. I'm used to it. So.
Wait, Lindsay, my wife's also a nurse. She's an ER nurse.
Oh, good for her. Those are my favorite nurses. They're the smartest, in my opinion.
Yes, she's very, very good.
Why the heck did she marry Mike?
I still ask myself that question.
TV star. Okay, actually, just to move it along, we have 2 rounds left. Okay, and I have to tell you, Mike, I hate to disappoint you. The 2 people I thought would be picked, you did not pick one of them.
Well, I'm picking my next one. He's definitely it.
Definitely, I think you got the fingers going. You're gonna get one of them.
Bahanu? Is that how you say it?
Banu.
Yes, that's my pick.
Banu, the last one of the Yanu tribe here.
Yes.
Banu on Yanu. I just realized that. Holy hell.
I don't know why I picked him. I just picked him because I thought I should.
Okay. He is not one of the 2 I was thinking of. But yeah,
Lindsay's going to help me out here, Linz. Help me out.
So again, great personality. I think he's super fun. He's very energetic. He's super likable. If he can get on the right tribe and he's got people that are like very accepting of just, he's a lot. If he can just like ease in to the tribe, I think he'll be good. I'm just worried that he's a little too eager in this game. And I don't know if that means that it's going to be like very off-putting to people because they're going to be like, I need you to like slow down. Or if he just might not make the best decisions because, you know, he hits the beach running. And so I don't know. I mean,
I'm on the same wavelength as you, Lindsay. I have to admit. And this, I purposely didn't share anything before the draft because I was like, listen, you said you don't want any research. Fine. But I think the latest promo was him bawling on the beach to Kenzie saying, "Can you find me an idol?"
Oh, no.
So I don't feel super confident. But you never know. Maybe they have a really good relationship, and maybe she does find him that idol and gives it to him. Yeah. You know, maybe it'll be good.
Well, the good news, it sounds like there's a lot of big characters on this season.
Kenzie.
Yes.
Kenzie. Yeah, Jonathan. That is Kenzie, my love from afar in season 46. Also property of Lindsay in this draft. So I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
Yeah, Banu, though, Banu posts a lot of photos of him dancing. He seems like he's a lot, like Lindsay said.
Well, he's the one that also had 10 shoulder dislocations before he went and had shoulder surgery. I believe that he needed to have it in order to play the game. I can't remember if it was him that said he needed to have it in order for him to be able to continue through the casting process. But there was also somebody else that said they didn't know how to swim. And so they were cut from casting and had to learn how to swim and then got to go through the casting process once they learned how to swim. So I don't know. We'll see. He's not horrible.
What you're saying, to get through the casting process, you have to know how to swim, correct?
So I thought you didn't, because Mariah, we taught her how to swim in Ponderosa after she was voted out. So I don't know if this is like a new rule. I'm not sure what you guys had to do as far as swimming. I remember when I was going through casting for David versus Goliath and then season 38, when we were in LA, they made me do the swim test in the pool. And then for 42, 43, 44 casting cycle, I had to go to a pool during COVID, and it's impossible to find a gym and a public pool open during COVID. But their mentality was like, if you want to play Survivor, you'll figure it out. So I
had to find one also.
So I ended up like just having to record myself like swimming back and forth. I don't know what the policy is now, but I know Mariah wasn't able to do that when she went out on the island. So
I don't know. Maybe Mariah was the last straw or something. I don't know. But I'm glad
Yeah.
they at least do a test, because you don't want someone about to drown. Like dude back in Pearl Islands, the dude Austin, I think, was going to drown at one point. They had to send out the safety team. So
I think it's because people say, "Can you swim?" Yeah, I can swim, but I mean, Jonathan and Mike had to experience it way worse than I did. The Fijian water is rough and tough, and
It was rough a lot.
it's not forgiving. So I can understand why they're taking it a little bit more seriously now.
it's not a Hoboken bathtub there, right, Mike?
It ain't no Hoboken bathtub. That's for sure.
All righty. All right. Speaking of swimming, the designated swimmer here, it looks like he's up next with your second to last pick, Jonathan.
All right.
So
You got Soda, Tevin, Mariah. Sorry, they're right next to each other, and Ben to choose from.
I'm going to go with Mariah with an H.
Mariah with an H. All right. I really like that pick. I am shocked that pick was not made earlier.
Yeah, she's. I don't know. This is just feelings. I'm going off of feeling, and like you said, Survivor has a lot to do with luck. So hopefully I'll get lucky. But I do feel like she's got a good head on her shoulders. We'll see.
Yeah, if there was one person that I was looking at that I thought was more Aubrey Bracco, she was the one I was kind of eyeing down personally for that. I think she looks like she has a lot that could be going on. She's 28, San Diego, California, program coordinator. I don't know. I mean, honestly, kind of like Milktoast's job for the most part. But like you said with the vibes, looks like she's probably going to be relatable, kind of nerdy, kind of a part of all the conversations. Maybe not a dominant point, but I think it's a good pick personally. She was one of my higher ones.
She looks approachable, which is so big in Survivor.
That's true.
So,
Yeah, she's non-threatening. I mean, I'm going to look past the fact that she chose Nick Wilson as the person she wants to play the game most like. I did have a conversation with her about that. She said she chose that before all the news and drama. So, yeah. But what I love about her is she said her catchphrase is basically, so I went ahead and made a Google spreadsheet for this. And we all know those type of people. We all have them in our lives. I'm that person. But what I love about it is
definitely you, Lindsay.
Yeah. But I think people like that out on the island are really great, because I think she's going to be dealing with a ton of chaos that's going on. And I think she's going to be the person that everybody comes to, so she can kind of say, okay, let's get this plan together. What is the plan? What are we doing here? I think she's going to be a lot like Kelly was last season, where she's going to play the middle, and she's going to have to be the deciding vote. I just hope it doesn't come to bite her in the butt, and they end up turning on her once they realize that she's playing both sides. So we'll see. I love her. I absolutely love her. She's a great choice.
Well, that would be great if she did end up like Kelly, because Kelly was phenomenal. Even though I said, why would you get rid of Bruce? I wasn't out there. I don't know how disliked Bruce really was, so it probably did benefit her. She's great. So if Mariah plays anything like her, I think that's a huge W.
Well, I think we also underestimate, like, no matter how much you like somebody in the game, if you're on a tribe where everyone else doesn't like them, it makes it really, really hard to work with them and to try to play. That's
kind of happened with sides. That's what happened with Tori with our season.
With
who? Tori with our season.
Oh, Tori. Yeah. Oh, I love Tori.
She kind of got blackballed.
I think she's amazing.
Yeah, and she's amazing.
Great underrated people.
You stood away from her because her tribe was telling you so many bad things. You couldn't take a chance to even be caught talking to her.
Yep.
Well, because her and Drea were really at odds, right? Or am I misremembering?
Yeah, they were at odds. I remember we got to the merge and just said, "Stay away from Tori. She's going."
It was Romeo and Drea, Mike.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, and I just stood away from her because I knew that if I talked to her, we'd be in trouble.
She came in winning the first immunity challenge. Drea and Romeo weren't having it, and she was such an athlete that it was too dangerous to even really, work with her. But man, what an athlete!
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she's really cool. I'd like to see her again one day.
I would too.
No question.
And she's a great character.
Yeah, she is. She was one I didn't expect to love by the end of the season, especially for pretty much a mid-game boot. But she's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so Mariah off the board. So what we have left? We have 4 left. Back-to-back picks for Lindsay. So this is actually a pretty pivotal round turn for Lindsay. We have 2 from each the remaining tribes, Nami and Siga, Maria and Ben for Siga, and Soda and Tevin from the Nami tribe. And 2 of the people that I thought would have already been picked are in this final 4. So let's see if they get taken in the next 2
Let me go ahead and take them now.
All right,
I have a feeling one of them is Ben.
That is one of them.
Yes, Ben's a good one. What I love about Ben, great personality. He has a Cody-ish vibe. I love that he uses shred as a verb. So he's like, let's go shred this fire. Like, I think he's going to be kind of the fun of the tribe. I think he's going to be the one when tensions are high. He's going to kind of diffuse it. Just like I said, just really quirky. And I think as long as he can get the strategy part of Survivor, if he can understand that, or if he can find his way into just a little small alliance, 1 or 2 extra people. If he can get his footing in the game, I think he's going to go far.
Well, he's and just to be clear, that is your pick, right?
Yes, Ben.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure. I didn't know if you were just guessing me or you. All right.
Yeah.
Ben is very interesting. I think if you 2 looked up ahead of time, I think you probably would have picked Ben a lot higher personally. Mm-hmm. He's like a musician. He's a real go with the flow dude. He does music a lot. Honestly, that's like his biggest thing. And you're right, Cody Assenmacher. Is that his last name? Assenmacher? Yeah. He reminds me a lot of Cody, and I love Cody.
I didn't think I'd like Ben at first, and then the more I listened to his interview and just kind of got to understand him a little bit better. And like, isn't that the case with everybody that they cast on Survivor? Like, even the people that you don't think you're gonna like, you eventually fall in love with. Casting just does an amazing job, and I think Ben's a great addition to my team.
I tend to agree. He's one. I will tell you, full disclosure. I wouldn't be stunned if he was also the first one out of the game.
Same.
But I hope that's not the case, because he seems like a really interesting guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think if his tribe can win the first few challenges and they don't have to go to tribal council right away, I think he'll be in a good spot. But I definitely see what you're saying, especially because he's got such a strong team with him. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, yeah, a big part of it is gambling on which tribe, if there is one, which tribe is going to be the loser tribe. Like last year was Lulu. I think we all looked at Lulu and went like, was this a joke? Yeah. And it ended up going pretty poorly. I don't know if I see that in this group, admittedly.
I do.
But, I have my pick. Like to me, the strong tribe that's going to go really well, I think, is probably Yanu, the purple tribe. And then the one that I think could be real dysfunctional real fast is going to be Nami, the orange tribe.
I agree.
So I don't know, but I could see it.
Yeah.
It should be a lot of fun.
Agreed. And now with that said, Lindsay's got one more pick, and then we finish it out. So although I'm missing one.
Final pick is Maria.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. Maria,
yeah. Again,
go for Maria.
Another one. I didn't think I would necessarily like her, but she's a mom. She teaches parents how to be good parents. So I think she's just got a lot of knowledge. As long as she, again, doesn't go out there and try to play the mom role, I think she could team up with probably some of the women on her tribe and maybe try for an all-girls alliance. Not saying it's going to be successful, but I think she's got 2 really great tribe mates that she could go far with.
I could see it going down. If I remember right, I think she's the one with the job parent coach. And I'm still not totally sure what exactly that is. Is it like, coaching parents on how to be good, or like she's a parent and coach, kind of like player coach in sports, I don't know.
No, she teaches parents how to be better parents and how to communicate better with their children, and how to manage marriage when you've got kids. And yeah, I didn't know that was a job, but apparently
neither
it is.
did I. It's one of those things like when I heard like Paul McCartney's wife was like a fundraiser coordinator or something. I was like, oh, you mean you're rich and you have a job that you can just mess around at? Okay,
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So we're down to the final two, both from the Nami tribe. And I'll tell you right now, one of these two I thought was going to go way earlier, for sure. I'm stunned. I'm stunned. Honestly, I'm sitting here stunned. And so far, Jonathan has hit on a lot of the picks that I thought were going to go a little earlier. So I'm wondering if Jonathan's going to pull it off here, because right now, Mariah was just taken. So we have Tevin and Soda left.
Mike, who do you want, Mike?
Well, here's what I'll say. I personally would like, I can't tell you who I would like, because no matter who I say I like, you're going to take me. So I got to play the game. Do I tell him make him think who I don't like and say that's who I do like, so he takes them on me? Or do I think you'll think I'm going to do that and then go the opposite way anyway?
So I've already thought about this, Mike. I know what you're going to do, so go ahead.
All right.
I think you should just take the pick.
You could do that.
Honestly, if I had to say, I would take Soda over Tevin. I just think Tevin's going to be polarizing.
I do too.
And so, just the way his arms are crossed and the look he has on his face,
I can actually see the devil on Jonathan's shoulder on the one side, and the angel on the other, and just the puzzled look he has.
Who doesn't like Soda?
Kevin, I got to be honest with you, Kevin. It's not even a question who I'm taking. I'm taking Soda.
What?
You know what? You do that to spite me. You do that to spite me.
Smart choice.
I mean, listen, you all played a game of lies and deceit. You gave him the right answer, so I don't know.
Sorry, Mike.
I mean,
I know. I thought the same thing about Soda. Looks.
Yeah, but I'm your friend. Why would you do that to me? You know who I liked, and you did that anyway. It's hurtful. It's a very hurtful thing. You're supposed to be my friend. I could have Soda?
You can have Tevin.
You said I could have Soda?
Tevin.
You can have.
Yeah, great. Thanks, pal.
It's like, oh, buddy. Yeah, you can have. You can have.
That's what he does to me. He breaks my heart all the time. All the time.
Soda looks so friendly.
Oh yeah,
she does. She's got a great personality too.
Big time. She's I think she's a Jersey girl or a New York girl. I forget.
I knew that.
She is.
She's in the area.
She's in New Jersey. Yeah, she's from Long Island. Lake Hopatcong.
Oh, Lake Hopatcong.
Oh, yeah.
Lake Hopatcong.
Lake Hopatcong. Lake Hopatcong. It's about 35 miles northwest from me. I used to go there as a kid.
Yeah.
I used to go on that lake as a kid. It's up near Sparta, that area.
Oh, she's a special ed teacher.
I didn't know she was. If I had known she was Lake Hopatcong, I had some good summers up there. My friend owned a little trailer up there when I was like 17. We used to go up there and sit around a campfire. We didn't swim because that's not what we did back then.
Yeah.
This is This is why John.
This is like 1979. I did this 1979.
Well, they had water back then.
Not a lot. It's not like it is now in New Age. Not as much water.
God. All right. Whatever you say, buddy. All right. So you all did it. You all ended up picking the teams. Let's do a quick recap here. So Michael Turner's team: Liz, Randon, Jelinski. I know your favorite pick. Tim, Banu, and Tevin. Which I would like to say real quick. Tevin was a guy I thought was going to get picked way earlier. I could see, like, I don't remember who said it. Polarization is definitely a word that I associate with him for sure.
Yes.
But I felt the same way about like Jam Jam going into 44. And it worked out really well for Jam Jam. I don't know if Tevin has the same skills as Jam does, because he's great with people. But I think I was a fan of Tevin ever since I saw him post that little clip of him saying test negative, be positive. I was a fan right then.
Mm-hmm.
But so it looks like
that was our state.
No, go
ahead. Go ahead.
No.
I was just going to say that was our phrase when I was a COVID nurse. It was test negative, stay positive. Oh yeah, because we had to test before we could go into work, and so yeah,
that's about as good a phrase as you could hope for then.
Yeah. Again, all it's going to take for him to get a little bit farther and not rub people the wrong way is somebody being annoying on their tribe. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take somebody doing something to piss everybody else off for Tevin to not be too much for everybody.
Well, if there was somebody, just for a quick straw poll from everyone here, because we could probably look at Tevin. He's for what it's worth, he's a very out there guy. He seems like he's going to be kind of a personality similar to Jam Jam, like I was saying, to some degree, like how he's out there. He's really fun. He's personable, but could be much at times. Based on just what you see here, if it's not Tevin, who do you think, if they had to go first, would probably
be Ben.
The best block for him?
I thought it would be Ben.
Ben. Okay. Wait, Ben?
Yeah, the guy who's the singer. Just looking at him, I thought.
Ben. But Ben's on a different tribe. I mean, for
I'm sorry. I thought you meant overall.
No, if like Orange Tribe, Nami has to go to the first tribal council.
Venus.
You think Venus?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's? Why do you think Venus?
I think number one, honestly, a lot of times the pretty girl goes first. So that's one. That's
if she doesn't fit in,
and she doesn't fit in, and I think she's going to be pretty bold, and I think that can rub people the wrong way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll have to go.
True.
Unless my first pick, Liz, annoys the crap out of everybody, and then she goes.
Yeah, those honestly, it's one. Yeah. I can see that.
Wow, your first pick or your last pick could be the first to go. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's my luck. I tell you what, the worst thing that could happen to any of these players is that I picked them.
No, I'm sure you're gonna do just fine. I'm sure you'll do just fine. So actually, since you're here, Jonathan, I'm just gonna recap yours real quick while she's gone. Said, all right, in Jonathan's tribe, Jem, who I think is a very interesting pick, could be a gem of a pick. Double entendre. Charlie, I personally, I don't know how I feel about him. If a guy says he wants to play the game in eras like Taylor Swift, I'm already turned off because now that Lindsay's not here, she doesn't know this. I'm actually not a Taylor Swift fan at all.
I'm not either.
So, I can't. There's been overexposure this past year, and I'm not for it. Hunter, I think Hunter is a low-key awesome pick. So I'm super excited to see where that comes. Tiffany, again, I think she may win the game. I got that feeling. I think she may end up winning the game. Mariah, like you said, approachable. She could be around for a while. I see her as like make the merge, but not too far past that kind of pick. And Soda could be a home run swing. I have a bad feeling she's pre-merge, but she is your last pick. So what can you do? Hopefully you get a lot out of it.
Yeah.
Well, me too. I've talked to Soda a little bit. She seems to be really nice and really sweet. And it's like like her name being Soda, and she's on the Orange Tribe is like the greatest thing ever.
Hilarious.
Who loves orange soda?
Kale loves
orange soda. That's right. Is it true?
I do.
Dude,
I used to love that show.
Oh, it was one of the greatest shows. And I love that Keenan still gets to do that kind of stuff on SNL now.
Yeah, dude. That was a great show.
Sorry, Lindsay. We were just singing about Keenan and Kel and orange soda and all that fun stuff.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
No, it's all
drinking
good.
Way too much water.
No, don't worry. Water's good. You got to hydrate, right?
I tried.
And then finally, to recap, now the returning queen. She starts off with Jessica Chong, the rugby player, the badass. Hopefully she does super, super well. I think there's a lot of good things in the horizon for her. Kenzie, love Kenzie. I think she is going to make a lot of really good relationships, and she seems like she's got a lot of energy. And I think that can really help. Q, honestly, I'm not sure. I don't have a lot of great feelings about Q. Venus, again, she could be the first one out for not fitting into the Nami tribe. But if they win a lot, things could really go her way, like a bizarro Justine Brennan sort of, with how her game goes. Ben, I don't have a lot of faith in, but I hope he's around because he seems like a really fun guy. And Maria, I actually thought you were going to pick her a little bit earlier because I think to some degree you all probably share, like from a demographic standpoint, I was like, man, like along the lines like yourself, like a Heidi, a Mama J, I thought maybe you'd be rooting in there a little bit. Although I think you're a little younger than those folks, but still, like mom, a badass mom with kids who would do well in the game. I think it's a very solid list that you all put together. I think it's really impressive that Mike and Jonathan just flat out, they're like, listen, we're going off of vibes. Okay.
That's it.
I respect that.
They have equally good picks, so I think it goes to show sometimes doing the research doesn't necessarily help you out here.
You never know.
Vibes are important. I'm a huge fan of vibes.
That's true. I mean, honestly, that's your whole life. That's how you end up swimming at 10 at night, and then Mike calls the police to find you.
Yeah, I did.
Well, when you think about it, like, how often do we have our favorites and then you watch one episode of the season and all of a sudden, like, everything that you thought you knew about these players?
Agreed.
Yes.
Every time.
Agreed.
Absolutely. I mean, I hate to say it, like, I default to like bro mode whenever I look at my favorites for Survivor almost every time. I see cast photos and I'm like, oh, that guy looks like he's gonna cause some serious damage. So I defer, and I hate that I do it, but last season it was Austin. Loved Austin. Jonathan during 42, that was the case.
Yeah.
43, I don't even remember how that really went down, I'll be honest, but I'm not going to recap all my seasons. But you're right. There's some folks that get on screen and you're just like, man, this person's a real dodo. No thanks. But there's a lot that could really change here. Right off the bat, I see people like, I actually think I'll like Banu, even though his tribe may not like him in the end. I'm not sure. I'm not in love with Charlie, but maybe he'll be really awesome and really sweet and sensitive and all this fun stuff. I don't know. But we'll see. That's the fun about it. But just to wrap it up, thank you all very much for taking part of the fantasy draft. I know this is a big deal. I know basically this isn't something that you all do all the time, except for Linz, the returning champ. I'm very thankful to have you back. I clearly need to like get a belt made because I know Jonathan's up there. I'm a big.
You're talking my love language.
I love wrestling. I got a few belts. I need to get one made, right?
Yeah.
And when I do, Lindsay, you're the returning champ, so you got to hold it for a while at the very least, and who knows, maybe you'll be keeping it for another year.
I think we need to get like one of those plaques on the side where it just says like every season who the winner is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I want to keep this going. The way Probst is running the thing, it's going to keep going past 60 at this point. So
yes,
I'm down.
I think so.
Absolutely. So what's going to happen from here on? Each week, I'm going to do a recap of some type. These fine folks, if they would like to come on at some point, they absolutely can individually. But I'm going to keep track of all the totals and post them on social media so you all can follow along in that way. And we can see exactly who knew what they were talking about, who didn't. We can roast each other, all that fun stuff. But I have a lot of confidence that these lists are going to be competitive throughout the season. So again, thank you, Mike. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Jonathan, for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was so good to see you guys.